Hey everybody, Jamie here from Start Riot. It's my birthday this week, so welcome to Thank Drunk It's Friday! This week, The World is a Beautiful Place and I Am No Longer Afraid to Die released the song Dillon and Her Son. It's the first track from their upcoming third album, Always Farren, which is due out September the 29th on Epitaph Records. Now, The World is a Beautiful Place are mostly known for their hilariously long band name, huge amount of members, and endless Twitter hilarity. But they were actually one of the first bands from the emo revival scene way back in 2010. Their first EP, Formlessness, was released in 2010, gained them a little bit of attention and a cult following. And their debut album, Whenever If Ever, finally came out in 2013. But it wasn't until their second album, Harmlessness, in 2015, they really started to get a lot of attention from places like Pitchfork and get named in a lot of Album of the Year lists. That really put them on the radar of a lot of music fans outside the emo scene. And it definitely feels like this track, Dillon and Her Son, is kind of designed to expose them to an even wider audience. Their earlier material is really expansive, but this seems to tick all the boxes for radio play. It's not an epic 10-minute long song, it's got hooks, it's got really catchy riffs, and I feel like with this new album, Always Foreign, we could definitely be seeing a lot more of The World is a Beautiful Place this year. Can only be a good thing for emo. Speaking of emos that tread the line between that and indie, Manchester Orchestra released a video for The Sunshine. It's from their excellent fifth album, A Black Mile to the Surface, which came out last week. It's hard to know where this album sits in their discography. If it had come out after Simple Math, it would have made perfect sense. But their fourth album, Cope, was really heavy, kind of harking back to the Mean Everything to Nothing days. This album's much more complex and layered, kind of like Simple Math, much darker edge to it as well. I think like Simple Math, this album will be a grower in time, even though it's already brilliant. I think it can only get better with more listens. I'm really looking forward to hearing it live when they come to the UK in October. They've announced that the support in the US will be Tiger's Jaw and Foxing for that tour. Really hoping for something of that caliber in the UK. Citizen released a video for Jet, the single that came out a few weeks ago, the first single off their third album, As You Please. That is out the 8th of September on Run for Cover Records. Listen to that track a lot this month. I'm super pumped for that album and the Turnover album. Looks like it could be a big year for Run for Cover after it looked like Black Cement might hoover up a lot of their artists. Looking forward to seeing Citizen again live later this year. They're playing a few dates in the UK and Germany. Enter Shikari released a new song, Live Outside. It's from their upcoming album, The Spark, out September the 22nd. I feel like when Enter Shikari headlined Slam Dunk Festival earlier this year, playing Take to the Skies in the full, I watched them live and was blown away, and I kind of thought, why have I not listened to Enter Shikari since this album came out? And then this track comes out and I kind of realised because they totally changed as a band after that album. They definitely focus more now on the rave element of their music, the electronic side. And to be honest, that's not something that I really liked on the album. The fusion of the electronica and the rock on Take to the Skies was a great combination. It was fresh. No one had really done it much before. But I feel like when you take the kind of heaviness and the rock side out of it and the sense of humour to an extent, it's just not that much there for me. I know they've got a lot of fans and they've only got bigger and bigger and bigger as the years have gone on, but don't think I'll be going to that tour later this year, to be honest. The really exciting band Bully have released a new song, Feel the Same. It's off their second album, Losing, which will be out October the 20th on Sub Pop Records. Follows on from their excellent debut album, which came out 2015, Feels Like, which featured great tracks like I Remember and Tryin'. Interesting, they've signed to Sub Pop Records as well. Really great for them. They've previously had bands like Nirvana, The Postal Service, The Shins, and Father John Misty. What I'm trying to say is that Sub Pop rarely signed bad bands, and that Bully have signed for them for this album is a very good sign for the band. It's interesting that even though Sub Pop kind of made their name in grunge with the likes of Nirvana and Soundgarden, they've definitely become more of an indie label recently. So Bully are definitely going to be on the heavier side of their spectrum, much like Metz, who've released the new song Drained Lake. It's off their upcoming third album, Strange Peace. That will also be out on Sub Pop Records on the 22nd of September. I definitely said this with Metz's first single, but if you liked that Meatwave album, The Incessant, which came out earlier this year on Big Scary Monsters, you'll definitely like this. It definitely captures the same vibe, especially of the title track, The Incessant. It's that kind of uneasy anxiety that it provokes in you. I wouldn't say it's necessarily enjoyable, but it's definitely a great track, much much like the Meatwave one. Chris Farren, the alt-pop merchant with the voice of an angel and the looks of a young Orlando Bloom, has released a new song, Be There For You. This is a great new track, follows on from his first album, Can't Die, which came out 2 years ago. Possibly a sign of new material, but no new album announced yet. It is in support of his US tour with Side Dummy label mates Roswell Kid, which kicks off this week. Now, if you're a fan of angry, mathy two pieces from England, then I have not one, but two bands for you. First up is Cassels, who've released 2 singles, Coup and Let, but if you put it together, it forms Couplet, like 2. Both tracks will be on Cassell's debut album, Epithet, out October the 6th on Big Scary Monsters. Cassels, in a way, are a very English band, but much of their material is focused on political and social issues, mostly anti-Tory and anti-Brexit, an agenda which we at Starter Riot definitely back. The tracks are kind of really heavy, oppressive, mathy riffs with a lot of distortion. The title of the album, Epithet, is quite appropriate. There's a lot of wordplay in the lyrics. It's mostly kind of a spoken word deliverance, but not necessarily shouted like the single Mother's album. It's kind of casual, almost thrown away delivery, but it definitely works for the tracks. And the other band is Pet Library, whose debut album, Pity Party, is out today on Above the Waves. Now these are a bit more melodic than Cassell's. Their older material is much more mathy and with spoken word elements in there, but it seems like they're going a bit more new wave and melodic on this album. Very cool tracks. They've released 2 singles so far. I'm really looking forward to digging into this album as well. Another great band from the south of England, Fresh, have released a new song, Bible Camp, today. It's another track from their self-titled debut album, out in 2 weeks, August the 18th on Specialist Subject Records. Great label as well. It's a really short track coming in at under a minute. It's kind of like the indie punk version of Built This Pool by Blink-182. They've announced that they'll be going on tour this September with Jesus and His Judgmental Father. The band, not the actual thing. I Told You I Would Eat You have released a new song, Divine Violence. The 7 or 8 or 9 piece emo band have released that song with Failure by Design Records. They're doing a handful of dates this month around the south of England and also playing Arctangent Festival in Bristol in 2 weeks. And finally, Peaness have released a video for the single Ugly Veg. It's from their EP Are You Sure, which is out now on Alcopop Records. They'll be doing a headline date tonight at Soup Kitchen in Manchester in support of the single. They're a really sweet alternative pop band. If you've caught Colour Me Wednesday on one of their many dates recently, then this band's definitely in the same vein. And that's all for this week. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and please wish me a happy birthday in the comments. I'll be off to punk rock holiday in Slovenia this week, so stay tuned for updates from there. If there is a Thank Bungits Friday this week, no guarantees, but I'll try and do a live stream from there, so stay tuned for that. Again, please wish me a happy birthday in the comments, because I'm very insecure. But for now, thank Drunk Kids Friday!